Hello traders and welcome to the market opening preview on a Tuesday, March 8th, 2016. Traders is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Traders coming to you live from Pattaya, Thailand, bright blue sunny skies and white sandy beaches. Absolutely gorgeous today, and blue waters. Traders, got a lot to talk about today. Got 6 currency pairs we're going to take a look at and some very interesting stuff going on in the markets. So we're going to get to that in just a second. However, let me introduce myself to you for those of you who do not know who I am. My name is William Gilday and I am your moderator for the Market Opening Preview Series every single trading day before the London Open. Traders, I will let you know that I do record this during the Asia session. Traders, I started trading in the year of 2006, and in 2008 I retired from a wonderful 27-year career as a firefighter paramedic out of the great state of Florida. Traders, 9 days later I came to Thailand for a 3-month holiday. Well, traders, 8 years later and I'm still here. Actually, April 16th will complete my 8th year here in Thailand, and I'm just absolutely loving my retirement. However, I would think I work hard on my second career as a trader than I did on my first. Nah, probably they're both the same. Lots of hours and lots of fun. All right, so how do I trade? I'm a pullback trader. I like to see price pull back to prices that I think that are reasonable, and I like to stay in the trend. I do use higher time frames to do that. So my bias comes from the daily chart and the 4-hour chart, and I bring that down to a 30-minute chart, and then I make a trade plan. And after I do my analysis, I make my trade plan, and then I trade my plan. So I do use candlestick charts. I'm very big with candlesticks. I love price action, price structure, support, resistance. I do have 2 indicators I use. When I'm trading Forex, I use harmonics. And when I'm trading options, I use Ichimoku. So I do use some indicators. I do have 3 exponential moving averages on my live charts when I'm trading, and I use a 200 exponential moving average, which you'll see on these charts. I use a 55 and a 10 moving average, and that's it. That's all I use. The rest of it is all analysis, right? Technical analysis. I do listen to fundamentals. I pay good money for my news feed. I have a news feed that goes 24 hours a day. And they talk live, and I get my numbers quick. I do not trade news releases, however. I trade probably 40 minutes after the news is released, and then if everything's in line and my sidecars are ready to go, I will enter the news trade at that point, but I do not trade the number release. All right, that's just a little bit about myself. However, let's get the legal stuff out of the way. Let's get to the charts, okay? This is our risk disclaimer. Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential of risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex markets. Traders, very importantly, do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Remember, traders, every time you click that button on a live account, you are putting risk out. You are basically saying, I am willing to lose a certain amount of money in my trade, because we all put stops on our trades, right? Yes, yes, yes. We always put stops on our trades. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, traders, let's get over to news and commentary. Let's take a look at what happened in the U.S. session yesterday. The Dow 30 closed up 0.40%. The S&P 500 barely was in the green, but it closed at 0.09%. The NASDAQ closed negative 0.19%, and the small cap 2000 closed up 1.19%. Traders, if we head on over to the Eurozone, let's take a look at the DAX. The DAX closed negative 0.46%, with the FTSE 100 out of London closing negative 0.27%, and the CAC 40 closing negative 0.32%, and the Euro Stoxx 50 out of Frankfurt closing negative 0.59%. A lot of red there over in the Eurozone. All right, traders, let's take a look at what's going on over on my side of the world in Asia. Now, all of All countries are open and are actively trading. The Nikkei 225 is negative 1.81%. The S&P ASX 200 out of Australia is negative 0.39%. The China 850 is negative 2.06%. They have some big data coming out today. We'll get to that in just a second. And the Hang Seng out of Hong Kong is negative 0.96%, with the Kospi out of Seoul at negative 1.00%. And that's what's going on as far as the indices. As far as our economic calendar today, folks, there is very little high impact news data today. There's some medium impact, but all of our high impact news event is only one, and that is trade balance. And depending when you get that, it's about 90 minutes from the time I'm speaking. But that China trade balance is an important data release, so we want to make sure that we keep an eye on that. And of course, we want to look at our yen pairs and of course the Aussie, and keep an eye on that when that data comes out. That's very, very important. Then they have other news coming out. They got exports and imports. Those are medium impact news events. As I look through the calendar, it really gets pretty slow. The Swissy has unemployment rate, unemployment rate. The Euro has German industrial production, again, medium impact data. And then that's really it, folks. The other big one is in the European session, about 90 minutes into the European session, we have Bank of England Governor Carney speaking. So he'll definitely ruin our day. No, you never know what he's going to say, and then, he's going to talk, and the markets are going to do what they're going to do. The U.S. has GDP coming out, again, medium impact, and when we get into the U.S. session, we have no high impact. Canada has housing starts and building permits, which is medium impact, and that will wrap up our trading day. So not a lot of high impact news today. In fact, pretty light, I have to say. As far as commentary goes, I have to tell you, price action is, can I say, all over the place. Price action is really moving in all different directions, and it's quite challenging. If you're a position trader or if you're a swing trader, like myself, I like to be in a trade for 3 hours, 4 hours, grab my 50 pips or so and get out. Well, these markets are really hard to do that depending on how you're trading. If you're a scalper, you are loving life if you're a scalper, because these are the markets for you, because price action is all over the place. The good thing is that price is reacting to, how can I say, zones and indicators and things like that. So let's get started and let's take a look at the euro dollar. Okay, here's the euro dollar. This chart yesterday had an up move yesterday, and now it's sideways, and it's sideways because we're in Asia. And this is a currency pair, folks. If you look at the daily chart and the 4-hour chart, there is nothing on that chart that's telling me that this is bullish. I think this is just a very small impact. And I think this is going to come back down again. And surprisingly, look at how it reacted to that 200 exponential moving average. It bounced off it. It took it 2 times before it finally took off and went. So what are we looking for? Well, I'm looking for this to continue up. I'm looking for it to go back up to that R1, which is really resistance. And I think that'll probably happen in the European Open, the London Open, and then that's at the R1 pivot point, and that's at the price of 1.1032, and we want to take profit at 1.0955. It's a nice trade if it works, right? Now, realize I put a star next to the daily pivot point. Why did I do that? Well, we're going to see a bounce there, and it's probably going to be a significant bounce. But if we get in at the R1 where we're supposed to, we should already be break even, and it should be a free trade. Okay, now if you want to protect yourself from the bounce, you might want to make your intelligence stop a little bit bigger than normal, because like I said, I think this can bounce pretty good. from this daily pivot point. And why do I say that? Just look left of the chart. There is a lot of price action left of the chart, and it's going to react. It's reacted before, okay? Other than that, I think after that we have a very nice move down to the 200 exponential moving average where we're going to take profit, and also it's the S1 pivot. Folks, let's talk about the Great British Pound. What an interesting chart we have here. Look at this up move. You know, if you take a look at the daily chart, you know, we could be in a change of trend here. You know, we've been bearish with the pound for a while now, and we're going to know in the next week if we're really in an uptrend. It's taken out some significant levels, and, you know, my bias is still to the downside. I have to be honest with you. My bias still says, you know, let's short this. Let's take this to the downside. So I'm going for that this is going to come down, break below the daily pivot, give it a retest, and we can get in this at 1.4215. Now, folks, if we get a big bearish candle and you want to get in before that, that's fine. You know, just realize where your stop's got to be, because we're in an area now where there's no price action left of the chart if you go up, you know, above this resistance level. So, you know, you're at a spot where you'd want to get in this. You know, you got probably about 4 or 5 hours worth of doji candles, and that, you know, tells me, like, you know what, it might be time this thing's going to come back down again. So I'm staying with the trend, and I'm staying with my bias to the downside. So we're going to get in at 1.4215, and we're going to get out again at the support zone that you see marked on the chart, which is that yellow line, and also it has a 200 exponential moving average, and that's going to be at 1.4132. So this can be a really nice trade. This can be a nice 60 pip trade depending on where you get in. Remember, if you get in before the daily pivot, expect a bounce and put your stop in a very intelligent place. All right, let's take a look at the Aussie Dollar. Interesting pair. Folks, I think we are in a change of trend with the Aussie. I have a lot of stuff on this chart, so, you know, sit back and relax on this one. I placed the fib on this chart, and my bias now is to the upside, and I think I've only said that maybe 3 times in the last year. But I'm looking for this to go up. However, I want this to come down to my price, right? So I want this to come down either to the 61.8, which is also the daily pivot, or below it to the 50% or the 30.2%, anywhere in that area. And I expect this to go back to the upside. So we want to get in this at 0.7436. Now, this is going to take some action. Well, the action is going to be, remember I told you China has data coming out in the Asia session. This could react to China's data. So we need to watch this pair very closely and after the data release and see where we're at. But the trade plan is going to stay bullish. If you look at the daily chart, it's taken out all the highs. It's taken out significant levels. I think we have a change of trend happening, and I think if we get a pullback on the daily and then continue to the upside, it's definitely a change of trend. So we're looking to take profit at 0.7526. Remember, we're getting in at 74.36. We're going to get out at 75.26. It's the R2 reversal pivot point. But you could say I put a little green line on the right side of the chart. Yeah, what is that? The 161.8 Fibonacci level. I love that level. That's a great level to work with if you don't have an area to take your profits. So I'm looking to take profit at 161.8, and that's at about 0.7526. Somewhere in that area, we'll look to take profits. So we're going to watch this pair very closely today. It's probably on the top of my list to trade, and we will watch this and hopefully make some pips. All right, let's take a look at the Euro Aussie. Great pair. It's already, if you look at this chart, you can just tell it's bearish. There's no big secret here. We are just above the daily pivot, and I think it's actually broken through it. But we want to get in this at 1.4751. We're going to get out at 1.4699. Very simple trade plan, not difficult. It's it's gone above the daily pivot. Now it's come below the daily pivot. I'd like to see a nice candle, nice red candle below the daily pivot close, and then on the next candle, and the candle is red, we can enter there and then put in your intelligent stop. So this pair is just a great pair to trade. It's so predictable when it does its thing, and this just fibbed. This is a fib. If you do a fib of the last swing from the top to the bottom, this is like at a 50% fib right now. So this is really in a good spot. We're in a good spot for this to sell off. We're looking for this to go down. And I think we have a nice trade there. So let's keep an eye on that. Another one on the top of my list. The Euro Yen. Yeah, what about Kuroda talking yesterday, talking that they're not going to basically do anything. Basically they're going to watch the FX, and if they need to do something, they'll do it. But at this point, they see no reason to do anything as far as the yen goes. So the BOJ is probably just going to hold on and not do a thing. Well, if you take a look at this chart, we can see that it's bearish. We're in the spot to take this. But we sort of missed the boat. The boat has left the dock, right? The boat is gone. So what do we want to happen here? Well, this is a doji candle. So if you're looking at this at the London Open, this video, go back about 10 candles and you see where I'm at. And you can see the S1 pivot, the 200 exponential moving average. I want this to pull back up, believe it or not, and I'd love to see this touch that daily pivot and then come back down. I don't think that's going to happen. I think this is going to continue. So I'm looking to get in at 124.67, but it's already past that with this candle, but it's pulled back. So I'm going to wait. Yeah, I know you're saying, Bill, what do you mean you're going to wait? Yeah, I'm going to wait. We've got, this China data coming out is really important, and I don't want to get whipsawed out of this thing. And the stop is where the stop's got to go, right? We don't, however your money management skills or management program works, your stop goes where your stop goes. So we can't argue over that. So we're looking to sell this 124.67. We're going to get out at the S2 reversal pivot at 123.78. And I also put an exit to take profit at our support zone, which is that yellow line at 124.19. But I think we can get down to the S2. I think it's going to break through all this stuff. And the challenge in this trade, folks, is going to be the 200 exponential moving average. Wow, traders, I have 3 minutes over my time. New Zealand dollar, easy trade. I know it's been up and down and all around. This is easy. It's already broken the daily pivot. It's already giving us our pullback. Now we're just waiting for a bearish engulfing candle. And let's get in this at about 0.6773. And we'll get out at the 200 exponential moving average at 0.6731. Very nice trade here on the New Zealand dollar. And I think it's going to work out just fine. All right, traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilda, and our great friends at FXCL Excellence in Trading, I want to thank you for joining me on a Tuesday, March 8th, 2016. Traders, always remember to trade smart and not hard. Traders, have a great trading day, and we'll catch you in about 24 hours. Take care, traders. Bye-bye.